We start in Sefer Bamidvar, Parshat Bamidvar. We start the new Sefer. You know, usually, all the time we say Sefer Bamidvar right before Matan Torah. Now we're going to explain that why this Sefer is being said right before Matan Torah. Every year, they arrange it that this parasha should start before Matan Torah. So before Matan Torah, we're doing two things. We're starting a new Sefer, which is Bamidvar, and Parashat Bamidvar. We're going to see why this Sefer. Now, we have 5 Sefarim. Bereshit means in the beginning. All Sefer Bereshit, every name is the essence. Sefer Bereshit talks about beginning. And the end of the beginning, the end of Reshit, is formation of Kahal Israel. 17 Nefashot go to Israel. And that is the way that the Sefer ends. The Sefer ends with the last beginning that would be the word that would bring the word to perfection. Then Sefer Shemot. Shemot means names. Why do we call the Sefer Shemot names? Tell me what are names. No, name means essence. Every essence that has reality, has complete truth into it, is from this Sefer. Why? Because this Sefer talks about the Kahal Israel receiving Torah and having Shekhinah and Mishkan. Torah, Mishkan, Shekhinah is the essence of the world. Anything that's connected to that, would be real essence. But anything that's got connected to that, it doesn't have essence. The third Sefer is Vayikra. Sefer Vayikra means calling. Calling means correspondence. Once we have the nation, and the nation is there, now we need to create correspondence. And that happens through Korbanot, through the Sivuim, through the commands. And the Sefer is full of the mitzvot, full of commandments to make the connection. Vayikra means calling, correspondence. Then we have Sefer Bamidvar, it's the Sefer. Now what does Bamidvar mean? Bamidvar means desert. Now why the name of the Sefer is desert? Because now that we have everything, what should we do? We should go to the White House and enjoy ourselves. Now we have the nation, we have HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and everything has to happen in the White House, in the best place, in some place that, everything is provided, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu has the meeting. Now this meeting takes place in Bamidvar. That reminds me of dating. Sometimes the person takes a date, girl someplace, and the place is good. The place is very nice. And we recommend that sometimes. Why? Because we want the place to help the relationship, to create a relationship. In other words, the relationship comes about, but the place helps out. But here, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave the Torah, the experience of the nation, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Bamidbar desert. Place that there is no food, there is nothing, there is no life. Because Torah makes our life. Torah makes our vitality. That is Bamidbar. That's the dating with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We don't need any external reasons. I tell somebody, come and learn Torah. He says, no, when I have my business set, everything is set, then I have time for Torah. Torah says, no, Bamidbar, desert. Everything comes from Torah. Once you are in a place that there is no food, there is nothing, Bamidbar, then you start Torah. Torah gives life, gives vitality, gives direction. Not that if everything is said, then I have time for Torah. Torah. And another thing that Chazal tells us, that's Bamidbar desert, because if a person wants to become a Torah, he has to make himself like a Bamidbar, like a desert. Humble. Desert, people come and kick and step on it. And he doesn't say anything. Therefore, a person has to be humble to become a Torah. Somebody is not humble, he cannot be Mekabel Torah. Now the Sefer starts, and also we know that there are 5 Sefarim, there are 5 senses. Then I give you as a riddle to work out which sense is what. And especially Sefer Bamidbar, which sense of the person is. Hashem spoke to Moshe, where in Midbar Sinai, in the desert of Sinai, wilderness, Ohel Moed, in the Ohel Moed. We know, obviously, where is Ohel Moed? Ohel Moed is in Midbar. The Torah doesn't have to say Ohel Moed was in Midbar Sinai. No, that is the place. It's very interesting that Torah tells us the date also. On the first of the second month, Bashana Hashani, second year, therefore, the calendar works like this, that last year, Pesach, they came out. In other words, by Pesach, they came out. By Shavuot, 49 days, like we counted, they came to Har Sinai, and they Mekabel Torah in Har Sinai. And you should know, Har Sinai is outside of Israel. The same idea, the Kabbalah Torah was not in Israel. To point out that you are Mikabel Torah all over. Somebody told me that, the Torah and laws is beautiful, mitzvot, but they belong to Israel, to Eretz HaKedusha. We are in Galut, we are in exile. I can't keep Shabbat, I can't follow every law in business. Tell him, no, Torah was given especially outside of Israel to point out that Torah is not subjected only to Israel. Then, the first of the second month, the year. Therefore, on Shavuot, they Mekabel Torah. Then Moshe Rabbeinu went to get the Luchot. He was there for 40 days, till Shiva Asar B'Tammuz. He came down and he broke the Luchot. Then 40 days, Shiva Asar B'Tammuz, till Rosh Chodesh Elul, he went to daven to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, please forgive them. Rosh Chodesh Elul, Hashem said, go up for the second Luchot, till Rosh Chodesh, 40 days, till Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur, they received the second Luchot, and Hashem says, tomorrow of Kippur, they made the Mishkan, they are by Har Sinai, all by Har Sinai. And then they built the Mishkan. When Mishkan was over, 25th of Kislev. 25th of Kislev, Mishkan was over, but HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, we don't start the Mishkan until Rosh Chodesh Nisan. In Rosh Chodesh Nisan, they established the Mishkan and the dedication of Mishkan, and a month later, that's Iyar. That's the time that you are talking about. In other words, the second month, second year. Because the first year is past, is the second year, and Iyar, there HaKadosh Baruch Hu spoke to Moshe, that what they tell him, you should count the Kahal Israel. Now the Mefarshim say, how come here Torah tells us when and where? In other words, usually Torah doesn't tell us when HaKadosh Baruch Hu spoke to Moshe, and especially where. Doesn't say. Over there it says, it's an unbelievable midrash. The midrash says, Mashal, parable, to what? Why is it? No, what type of document we have, the date and place? What type of document is that we have to write inside the date and the place? What's the document? Ketubah. Ketubah, we have to write the date and the place. Wow. The midrash says over here, and the Mashal, parable to a king that got married to the first lady, he didn't write ketubah. Second lady didn't write ketubah. And finally found Aniya Bat Tovim. Found a poor girl, but it's the daughter of a very chashuv person, very important person. The king says, I'm going to marry her. And since the account of the parents is so strong, and the parents are so chashuv, it's not fair that they shouldn't write ketubah. This time, I'll write ketubah. Therefore, they get married and write the ketubah. Now, who is this Aniya Bat Chashuv, Aniya Bat Tovim? The poor girl, the daughter of Tovim, good? That's Kahal Israel. They are poor. The Midrash says, why are they poor? Poor from Torah and Mitzvah. But they are daughter of Tovim. Who is Tovim? Avraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov. Now, what's Pshat of ketubah? A lot of times I hear Rabbanim say by Chuppah that the ketubah is a contract of marriage. That 100% is wrong. Torah doesn't offer any contract for marriage. Do you know why? Because social workers, they said every partners that they have contract is a good partnership. If you don't, they say, okay, we make a contract for marriage. And we send the man and the lady under the chuppah with the contract. Through that contract, they know what they are talking about, and the peace would be there like every partnership. And they made a study for 5 years. And after that, they realized that this contract is the most destructive thing in the family. For example, I'll tell you just one example. They say on Tuesday night, the poor man should wash the dishes. Now it happens to be this Tuesday night, we have 50 people as a guest. Now we could think three things. We could say that this is your mazal chagaram, it's your luck. Wash. Or, come on, compromise, 10 and 10. Or we should make the guest wash. There are three ways of doing it. Now it would be a fight between man and lady. What should we do? How should we do? Therefore, the laws itself becomes the greatest cause of fight. Because Torah tells us, by marriage, there is no contract. Now, what's the contract of marriage? Becoming basar echad. One body. Two people in one body. That's the contract. Now, why do we need ketubah? What's ketubah? The Gemara says, ketubah. Why? Because it used to be, a man would get upset and angry. He would say, go home, go to your father's home, go to your father's home. Now they made it a little harder. In other words, you can't just send her, you have to pay her. Now that money that you have to pay her is part of the contract of ketubah. Therefore, that is not to be machzir her so easily. Therefore, what does the Midrash mean to say? Ultimately, the Midrash means to say HaKadosh Baruch Hu made the relationship with Chal Israel, and he put it in a way that he shouldn't send them out so easily. Kavyachol, just like husband and wife, ketubah makes it that with one thing going wrong, you don't send her home because of ketubah. Here also it ties up completely forever. B'ezrat Hashem. Now then Torah says, Israel, you should count the head of all Ahal Israel, their families, the Bet Avotam, the father's house, B'mispar Shemot Kol Zachar leGulgotam. B'mispar with the numbers of the names, Kol Zachar male leGulgotam, 4 heads. Now Rashi says, since he loves them, he dears them, he counts them all the time. When they came out from Mitzrayim, there was a number that how many people came out. When Egel came, the calf, and some died, Hashem says, right? Parshat Kitzah, Mana. He counted them. Why? Because like a shepherd, that the wolf comes and eats up some of the sheep. Now he wants to know how many God remain because he loves them, he likes them. When he came to put Shekhinah on them, he counted them. The by Yetziat Mitzrayim by Pesach, he counts them. Then he counts them after the Egel. In other words, after the Egel by Yom Kippur, by Mishkan, he counts them and he used them for the atonim of the Mishkan. Then he showed a Shekhinah on them on Rosh Chodesh, therefore he counts them. What's the point of counting? Counting is chashivah. To tell each person has his own chashivah. That's why the Pasuk says, Seu etrosh. It's a tispor. Count. Seu. What does Seu means? Lift up. Now, the Zohar HaKadosh says, the counting was like that. That everybody came in front of Moshe and Aaron, and Moshe and Aaron, they had Ruach HaKodesh, were Novi. They would tell him, see your neshama. See the role of your neshama. See what's your job. What's your duty in Malchut HaShem. Zohar HaKadosh tells us that each person has a role in the Malchut of Hashem. HaKadosh Baruch Hu divides the kingdom of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the expression of the kingdom of Hashem, to be expressed. Each person has a role. And that role is unique to him. If he doesn't do it, there is nobody to do. Therefore, each person is obligated to do. And that shows the chashivut of each person. Each person is chashuv and it's important. Lemishpechotam, to their families. And if somebody has a father, let's say from Reuven, mother from Shimon, goes by the father, all of them made to the head, Rashi said it's also to count Kahal Israel. Because if you count Kahal Israel, each one of them, Ayin Hara would be shorted on them. Therefore, we don't count Kahal Israel by numbers. What do? We count by something else. They were even by Asara. If you want to see that there are 10 people for the minyan, don't count people. Count yamakas, count chairs. Or say Hamotzi Lecheminor, or a pasuk that it's 10 words inside. But you are not allowed to count Kahal Israel. David HaMelech made a mistake and counted Kahal Israel. He thought at that time, that situation is mutar to count them, and then the famine came, and a lot of people got killed. The person has to understand, counting is not good. The person, we are not allowed to count Kahal Israel. Here, Legulgolota means for every head, they get Machzid HaShekel, half of the shekel, and half of the shekel represents that the Jew is not complete. The Jew is complete only with another Jew. Now, which year would we count? From 20 up, Kol Yotzei Sava B'Israel, whoever goes to the Sava, Rashi Magid Shen Yotzei B'Sava Pachom Nivenesrim, Sava of the army, Tifqedu Otam. Tifqed means two things. One means number, one is Pekidah. Pekidah means appointment. Now, Tifqedu Otam, the Torah uses the word of Tifqed for counting to say that's not just the counting of a number. It's the counting of appointment. You appoint him for the certain job that he has. In other words, somebody, king, dealt with his army just as a multitude. I have so many army, and the soldiers weren't loyal to him. There's another king that the soldiers in the history, everybody was loyal to him. They told him, what's the secret that everybody is loyal to you? Because he said, I make everybody to be chashuv, to be important. Somebody, a rabbi, had a meeting, and everybody comes. Another rabbi puts a meeting, nobody comes, so half the people come. And say, what's the secret? That rabbi or that person, that leader, it doesn't matter who you are. If in the business, if you give everybody his own chashivut, your chair was empty. We felt it. When you are there, you contribute something that nobody could do. Then he feels good and he comes. But if you deal with him, part of the crowd, whether it's there or it's not there, it's not important, then people would get loose. They would lose it. They were here, Torah is telling us that Moshe and Aharon count them b'mispar shemot. See, Torah says b'mispar shemot, counting with the names. What does mean counting with the names? Because we are not interested to find out there are 1,000 people here. We are interested to find out individuals. You are Reuben, and that's your tafkid. That's your purpose in life. That's Shimon. That's each one by itself. And also with you gonna be each man from each shevet, each rosh levet avotavu, a person that's a leader of that shevet. Again, because the point of counting is to give strength to each person according to the kovach that he has. The leader of the shevet would be Moshe and Aharon. They wanted to count Reuben. The leader of Reuben was there. Shimon. Why? Because what's the pshat of leader? Right now, they're running for presidency. Over here, whole point is to absorb prestige and honor and to be selfish and self-centered. They're looking for own. But according to Torah, a leader is somebody who works for tzibur. He's just a janitor for community, janitor for people. All of his essence has to be for Kahal Israel, for to do something for them. And what is the real job to do? Like Yehoshua. What did Yehoshua do? Yehoshua arranged the chairs for everybody to sit. What does it mean to arrange the chair to sit? He knows the maila, he knows the level of each person. He knows the tichulat hanefesh of each person. This is the chair for you. This is the chair for you. This is the chair for you. That's the leader. Once it collects all of the kochot and he puts them together, then becomes the army, becomes the nation, becomes a community. That's the way to do it. They are the names of the people that are going to stand with you. There are, Torah goes detailed in the names because the names of the leaders shows the tichulat hanefesh of that nation. Let's say over here. For Reuben is Elisur ben Shedeur. Now, why Reuben is first? Now, we had three things. One is that who should be counted as a Bechor? In mentioning the names, which name should come first? That's the first honor. Second is Bechor gets double. Third, he becomes a king. Now, once Reuben sinned, what was the sin of Reuben? When Rachel died, Yaakov put his special bed in the tent of the maid of Leah, but Reuben got angry. He said, what? As long as Rachel was alive, then Yaakov made his own special bed in the tent of Rachel. But now that Rachel died, now my mother should be less than the shivcha of Rachel. That doesn't work. He messed up the bed of the father, and that was considered a great sin for Reuben to disgrace father. That's why Yaakov told him, Pachas kamayim atutar. You rushed. Because you rushed, you are not going to have the kingdom and double portion. But the Bechor stayed with him. Now, what happened to Reuben? Reuben is the one who was supposed to be the Kohen Gadol. Kohanim should come from him. And the Reuben was supposed to be the king. And everything was taken away from him. Now, we would think, in our mind, nowadays the person gets a ticket, he's not a person anymore. Something happens, he needs a therapy. People are so fragile. Now Reuben, all happened to him, and what happens, the Midrash says, Reuben became the pillar of Teshuvah. Reuben was the first person who did Teshuvah, the Midrash says. What means Reuben was the first person who did Teshuvah? Adam Arishon did Teshuvah, a lot of people did Teshuvah before Reuben. What's Reuben? Because before Hashem said, you have two types of Teshuvah. One type of Teshuvah is like this. This is somebody, one Friday, was late, and he ran into Chilul Shabbat. By Shekia, he had to Chilul Shabbat. Now he said, from now on, I'm not going to Mechal Shabbat. Good. Committed everything, he regrets and stops. That's one way. The other way is to figure out what was the root of Chilul Shabbat. Do you know what was the root of Chilul Shabbat? because in the afternoon I went someplace. It took a long time. I said, no, it doesn't take. And it took a long time, and that's why I got in Chodesh Shabbat. From now on Friday afternoon, certain hour, I don't do anything. From that time on, Shabbat, that's it. He is making teshuvah on the root of what he sinned, not only act. Now, when brothers wanted to sell Yosef, this happened almost 15 years before 15 years after the Chet of Reuben, they wanted to sell Yosef. All the brothers decided to sell him, to kill him, but Reuben stopped them. Why? Because he did teshuvah. Pachas kamayim al-totar. He understood that his sin was rushing too much, conclusion too much, and getting things very fast. He says, no, wait, we shouldn't do that. Therefore, Reuben did the real teshuvah. Now, what's the name of the Nasi? Elitzur. What does that mean? My God is the rock. The Midrash says, what does it mean, Elitzur? My God is the rock. He told HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem, just like rock is so strong and could take and could bear any type of load, nothing breaks the rock. You are the God, my God, like a rock. You're going to take my sin. You're going to bear my sin. And you are not going to destroy me because of my sin. And Reuben was doing teshuvah for the rest of his life. Now, Ben Shedeur. Why is it called Ben Shedeur? Shedeur means through, Ur means fire. Now, the Midrash says, where did he learn, Reuben, that teshuvah helps in this manner and did teshuvah? He learned from somebody who said, throw it in the fire. Who said throw it in the fire? Yehuda. Who did Yehuda say throw in the fire? Tamar. He says put Tamar in the fire, and Tamar says no. I was with somebody that these things belongs to him. He says, wow, Satka Mimeni. She's the righteous. And at that time Yehuda did teshuvah. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu accepted teshuvah of Yehuda. Therefore from Yehuda, Reuben learned that he could do teshuvah also. That's why it's called Ben Shedeur. Is it son of Ben Shedeur? Because really, Shedeur means Yehuda, is the son of Yehuda. No, Sabte Reuben. Elizur Ben Shedeur, right. The leader was Sabte Reuben, it wasn't son of Reuben. Right. From the Shevet of Reuben, therefore is the son of Ben Shedeur. Why? Because why is it called son? Because son gives birth to a person. Somebody makes somebody else to do teshuvah, is the son of him. Because teshuvah is life. Therefore Yehuda gave life to Reuben. Okay, all of the names the Midrash goes through. One name I went through that you should know what lies in the names. The Shimon, for the Shevet of Shimon, who is the Nazi, Shelumiel ben Surishadai. Shelumiel, Shimon did Chat of Zimri. Shelumiel means completeness. Yehuda was Nahshon ben Aminadab. Issachar, Netanel ben Issachar. Issachar is the Shevet of Torah. Su'ar means Sa'ar. They suffered themselves in Torah. This Zvulun Eliab ben Chelon. Zvulun Israel ben Chelon. Ibn Yosef. Now once we finished with Bnei Leah, now we're going to go up to Bnei Rachel. Ibn Yosef, Ephraim, Elishama ben Amihud, Menashe, Gamliel ben Pedasur, Binyamin, Shevet Binyamin, Avidan ben Gidoni, Ledan, Achiezer ben Amishadai, Leoshe, Pagye ben Ran, Legad Yosef ben Reuel, Lenaftali, Achira ben Enan. These are the Ruei Ha'edah. They were called upon the assembly. Nisiyei Matot, the leaders of the tribes of Avotam, their fathers. Rashi, the head of the thousands of Israel, him they are. Vayikach Moshe v'Aaron. Moshe v'Aaron, they took it to Anash's people. What mean they took them? What does mean they took them? With the words. They told them, you are so privileged to have such a chashivut. Asher niqrevu b'shemot, that they were designated with the names. And they assembled all of the assembly on the first of the second month, on the Iyar, and they established their yichus according to their families, Levet Avotam, to the house of the father, the Mispar Shemot number with the names. From 20 up, they go for the head. Now, why 20? We have two bar mitzvah. One will Kasher Tzibah Hashem Moshe, just like Hashem commanded Moshe, Vayifkatem Bamidvar Sinai. He called them in the wilderness of the Sinai. Now, why from 20? Because in Kahal Israel, we have 2 bar mitzvah. One bar mitzvah is 13. 13, the person becomes responsible for himself. Till below 13, there's no responsibility. The parents are taking care of. They take care of the child. They do everything for the child. From 13, he becomes responsible for himself. Now, when a person becomes 20, he becomes responsible for the nation. Now, the responsibility from individuality goes to the nation. And that is something that we are lacking in our society. Our society is a very individual society, and everybody is thinking about himself. Everybody talks about his own right. That's why the marriages is very hard. That's why divorce is so much. That's why it's very hard. And we are not like, it used to be in Iran, for families, it's that 3-4 people lived in one room. They learn to share. They learn to care for other people. If the father bought chips to give to everybody, it was one big bag, and they ate from one big bag. Now here, everybody has his own room. Everybody has his own bag. You want to buy chips, you buy everybody one packet for himself. There's no Indian, there's no concept of sharing. There's no concept of coming along together, communicating, and dealing with each other. Everything is gone. Therefore, that society was a collective society. People live together. Here, it's very individualism. Therefore, that has its own problem. From age of 20, we have to teach our children the achrayut of other people. It's make them responsible. Give them achrayut. Give them that they have to care for the siblings, they have to care for the family, they have to care for Kahal Israel, they have to do things. Now, it's very important. Torah tells us only to count the zachar, male. Now, the question is, why did Torah say that only count the male? Why only male? It's a very important question, and a lot of people talk about it. A lot of people, they criticize Torah, but Torah is reality. Once somebody asked me, why Torah say that you want to just count the male? I told him that, what do you want? You want the real answer or fake answer? No, why did they ask him?
What was the question?
Fake answer.
Why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu said that you should count only male, not female, only male? Now I told them that, do you want the real answer or fake answer? Why did they ask him? Because I told him that if you want to hear the real answer, you have to have capacity for hearing that. You have to know, you want to know the truth. Now, in the psychology of man, it's an unbelievable point in Torah. First of all, counting is only male. Yerusha, inheritance, is only male. And Berit Milah is only male. Now, it's very interesting. Why only male? Now, Torah says, see, all of us, we learn Parshat Breshit, and we make a great mistake. Or even without learning the parasha, we make the great mistake. We think that HaKadosh Baruch Hu created 2 different human beings. One man, one nekeva. And Adam and Hava. There are 2 people. Hashem created 2 people. If you go through the parasha also, you see. But there is an unbelievable pasuk in Torah. Torah says that, if you notice, there is a pasuk in Torah. Torah says that HaKadosh Baruch Hu created man, Zachar, and Nekeva, and once they are together, Vayikra Shemam Adam. Vayikra Shemam Adam. What does it mean Vayikra Shemam Adam? He called their names Adam. Therefore, according to Torah, what's Adam? It's the unit. Adam is not male, it's not female. Because each one by itself cannot do the job, cannot come to perfection. The perfection of humanity is the unit. What's the unit? Male and female together. Vayikra Shemam Adam. One needs the other one. One by itself, by himself, by herself, cannot do the job. Life is made of the units. What are the units? That unit is called Adam. That Adam is Zachar and Nekeva. Torah would have done the greatest crime if we would have counted males and females. Because all of the problems that we have nowadays in marriage, in life, is because if you understand it's a unit, therefore everything goes with the unit. Therefore, all we are together, we are oneness. But if you separate them from each other, each one is individual by itself. Therefore, the question of right comes in. The question of what is my right? What is your right? What are you doing? What am I doing? All of the questions. And inheritance, Torah tells us the inheritance goes only with male. If you have a mind of accounting, it doesn't make a difference. if the male gets and male and female gets. Because somebody marries to a family and the girl doesn't get Yerusha, the sister doesn't get Yerusha. Therefore, collectively, it doesn't make a difference. Because the Yerusha goes to men. In other words, your sister doesn't get, right? You got instead of your sister, therefore your wife didn't get also, the male got. All of the females don't get. Now, what's the point of Torah? The point of Torah is that the girl, a lady, is not for sale. We don't sell a girl. A girl you marry not for money, not for, you marry a girl because of the girl, because of what she is. She is not a business deal. She is not part of business. Marriage is not a business. Therefore, if a girl takes Yerusha, you could marry a girl because of her Yerusha, because of her money. Therefore, it comes that the girl would be for sale. Torah says not. And Berit Milah belongs to both of them. We need the unit of husband and wife to keep the Kedusha of the spirit. The spirit belongs to both. Family, a unit. Person by himself cannot keep the Kedusha. Therefore, Torah is introducing that from the time of the creation, we are not creating two different human beings that each one could live for itself. It's like two machines, that these two machines together, they could do the job. If one by itself, it's not the job, it's not a complete job, it's not the job to be done. Therefore, when we count the male, we are counting units. That every unit and unit, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu, now the background of the Zohar makes it even more interesting. Because Zohar HaKadosh tells us that the couple, really, source of the neshamot are one. In other words, they are tied together. HaKadosh Baruch Hu separates them from each other and then sends them to this world. And he says, find it out each other. The Zohar says the mashal to a diamond that you cannot cut diamond only with diamond. In other words, like two diamonds that they are not cut, that they are not graved in, they don't look so nice. Hashem puts these two diamonds together and they cut, they make shapes, and they complete each other. Therefore, that's why, in other words, this male represents the male and nekeva both together. Vayu bnei Reuven, they were the children of Reuven, Bechor Israel, the firstborn of Israel. Therefore, Reuven maintained being Bechor as far as the name goes. Toldotam, their offspring, the Mishpotam, the father's house, the Mispar Shemot. Again, numbers by the names. It's not just the number, how many, by the names. Legulgotam for the head account. Kol Zachar, all of the male, from 20 up. Kol Yotzeba, whoever goes out to army. Pekuten Mate Reuven, there come Mate Reuven, Shisha Barbaim Elef, Bechamesh Meod, 46,500. That's Reuven. Then Lebene Shimon, their offspring, to the families, to the house of the father, the numbers, with the number of the names, head counting, Kol Zachar, male, Vesir Shulam Amala, Kol Yotzeba, Pekuten Mate Shimon, Tisha Bechameshim Elef, 59,300. לבני גד, תולדותיהם למשפחותיהם רבותם, במספר שמות בנסים שלנו ומעלה, וthen כל יצורי גדולים למתי גד, 45,650. Now, Mefarshim say, how come the numbers are just 10? Now, there are two Peshatim. One Peshat is, that was the way that was. It was a miracle, whatever that was. Another Mefarshim say, it was rounded up to 10. Ibnei Yehuda, the children of Yehuda, תולדותיהם למשפחותיהם רבותם, במספר with the number of 20 שנה ומעלה, כסבא, פחותי מתי יהודה. Yehuda is one of the greatest large amount, 74,600. 74,000 is lion, therefore you had the largest number, 74, and Huda. In other words, the essence of the bracha, Yehuda comes from Huda. Somebody's mother to HaKadosh Baruch Hu gets the bracha. He got 74,000 because all of the essence of Yehuda comes from Huda to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. לבני יששכר, תולדותיהם למשפחותיהם רבותם, זה שמונה 20 שנה, פקודיהם 54,000, 54,400, זבולון, תולדותיהם למשפחותם, לבני זבולון תולדותיהם למשפחותם, נמצא 18 שנה, פקודיהם למטה זבולון, 5,400, 50,400, לבני יוסף, 57,400. 57,400. Livnei Yosef, Yosef became two Shabbatim, Ephraim and Menashe. When Ephraim did the Dom, offspring, which was done by the Dom, one number of the names, then the Shishlafam Sev Malak, Kulitzaba, Pekodem Mati Ephraim, 40,000, 40,500. לבני מנשה, תודה שמונה בתום, ניסה שמונה נוסף שנה ומעלה, פקודי מתי מנשה, 32,000, 32,200, בנימין, תודה שמונה בתום, שמונה שנה ומעלה, סבא, Binyamin, 35. Binyamin is one of the list, 35,400. Very interesting, right? And Livnei Dan, Dan is one of the Dan, 62,700. Binyamin is half of the Dan. Now, Ramban makes unbelievable deal. If you notice and if you pay attention to this Ramban, life will be different. See, Ramban says like this, unbelievable observation. It's like this. Binyamin, when they went to Mitzrayim, how many children Binyamin had? 10 boys. You know, boys. They say Abba Ben, they made Gerat Torah, they made Beit Milah, everybody was happy. 10 boys. And they went to Mitzrayim. Dan, when he went to Mitzrayim, how many children Dan had? Only one, and he was deaf. He wasn't a normal child. He was Hushim ben Dan. Now, when they come out of Mitzrayim, after 210 years that stayed in Mitzrayim, look at the result. Binyamin became 35,000. From that 10 boys, 35, and from one came 62. Almost double, almost. 62,700. Now, Ramban says, what's Pshat? What's HaKadosh Baruch Hu teaching us? Unbelievable observation. Everything here has a reason. Wants to teach us something. Now we are just going fast because we can't get to everything, but the main point. Now Ramban says, what's the point? Ramban says, see, Binyamin had 10 children. Therefore, he was secure. When he davened to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he didn't have to beg, he didn't have to cry, he didn't have to put his heart. He was comfortable. Have 10 children. Everything goes well. Therefore, the beracha didn't receive. Was normal. But Dan, he had only one son, and that son was not complete. He said, oh, he said, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, please help. He got up, Hashem, please help. He had the Shila Malo to say every day, every time. You know, a lot of Gedolim, they have a pasuk, they have something that triggers them, gives them chizuk. They say it all the time. It's very good. Pasuk in Tehillim, pasuk here, pasuk is there. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, please help. Hashem, please help. And he davened with he was very sincere in his davening. He poured his heart to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And what did Hashem do? He got such a great bracha. The Ramban says this is our life. Something that we care and we pour our heart to Hashem, then the tefillah makes it. See, I say davening in the morning is like what? I'll give you a very good mashal. Imagine somebody has to travel for 20 hours in wilderness. And there is no gas there. There's no gas. 20 hours you have to travel. And in 20 hours, you have an appointment, you feel that you are late. Somebody says, you know, whatever that, it doesn't check his back of the oil. Does the gas enough or not? Gas tank is enough or not? Then what does he do? He just travels. What happens to him? On the way he gets up. Somebody says, no, I have to put. He puts the gas. When he puts the gas, he says, wow, I'm late. He runs. 1/4 of the tank is full, he goes. Go? Very good. Some people, another person rushes, only half. Somebody else understands, see, if I don't fill up this tank, I can't get to my destination. I need to fill up this tank. I have to put enough gas that should be able to get to the destination. If I don't put enough, I get stuck. This is our life with our davening. We are praying in the morning. Our praying in the morning gets us to destination, gets us to a place that we have to get. Therefore, if you fill it up, then, you know, it goes. Somebody cuts it short, then it goes also. But therefore, that is Ramban is saying. Davening, what it does, changes the scene, it makes it. לבני אשר תורתם ושבותם רבותם, פסח שמונה עשר, פקודיהם בן אשר, או אחד 41,500, בני נפתלי תורתם ושבותם רבותם, פסח שמונה בן ישראל שנה ומעלה, פסח פקודיהם מטה נפתלי, 53,400, אלה הפקודים, they are the פקודים אשר פקד משה ואהרון עושי ישראל, 12 איש, 12 people, איש אחד לבית אבותם היו כל פקודי בני ישראל, all of the Pesukim all together, Mr. Shana Bamaro, Sabab Israel, Bayukura Begodim, 603,000, 603,550. Now here Torah is becoming our calculator. Why do we need Torah to? Now the Torah tells us every Shevet and Shevet we need to know the Shbechutam, because every Shevet has a different techuna. It has a different characteristics. Right? Characteristics from 20 up. Characteristics. Therefore, each Shevet we have to know this kochot are working on that characteristics that the Shevet has. Now, if you add them together with calculator, you will know the result. Therefore, why did Torah count them and put them together? Why does Torah have to do that? That's a very interesting question. A lot of places in Torah. And all places works like this. See, we know that you could add them together. But the question is that is it important for Torah, that number or not? If Torah doesn't say, it's okay, it happens to be this number. Could have been short, it could have been more. No, that's a number. But once Torah goes out of its way and says the number, that means to say, I need each one of this number. I forgiving Torah, forgiving whatever that the duty and the things are. I need. This is that there is a mission that somebody takes 20 soldiers. Okay, I need only 15, but 5 are extra there. If somebody cannot work, the other one works. Somebody says, no, my mission, I need each one of you. If you don't do your job, the mission is not going to be done. Each one as an assembly line. You do this, you do this, you do this. I need all of you. Therefore, we could have figured it out, but we wouldn't know that each one is important for a special job, a special role. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu says all together, means to say the mission of HaKadosh Baruch Hu would be done with all of these numbers. Now, the Levim, now Torah points out that the Levim, right? Tell your father-in-law that the Levim, they were counted. Now, why? Not, I don't know. How should I say these things? You know. Now, by the Rashi and Moshe Lemor, Achet Mati Levi lo tifchot. Shevet, the tribes of Levi. Imagine that I'm not a Levi. You know, I have a hard time to tell you these things, but imagine that I'm not Levi. But you could tell your father-in-law, you have Achet Mati Levi, the tribe of Levi, lo tifchot. Don't count them. Why? Zok Rashi, I'm not making it up. Rashi says, it's not my fault. It's befitting for him. Ligyon shel melech, leshin of the king. That was Ligyod nimne levatu. He should be counted. He should be counted for itself. I'm smiling for his father-in-law.
Yes,
Sofa HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shati Dala Amud Gezer Al Kol HaNimnin. Listen to this Rashi, unbelievable Rashi. Rashi says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows that later on, what happens to this number? By miraculim, they do sin, and Hashem makes a decree, everybody above 20 should die. Therefore, this number is the number that they're going to die. B'Bnei Yisrael Mala, Shamotu Bamidvar, Omar, Al Yiyu Elu Bichlal. I don't want to condemn with these people. If they are with, Lefi Shehem Sheli, Shotau Be'egel. Shevet Levi, they didn't sin in Egel, they are mine. I don't want to count them together with them. Now, what's so what? You count them. They didn't do Egel? No. The question is, again, I don't know, forget about that I'm Levi. The question is that whether Shevet Levi did the Chet of Meragelim or not. Shevet Levi, no, the spice that he sent wasn't from Levi. Therefore, Levi didn't do neither of the sins. Therefore, what's wrong to be counted with them? Unbelievable Yesod in Torah. It's a very important point. Now, if Hashem counted with them, even though that they don't sin, since they were counted together and they were as an assembly together, he would be punished. The Gemara says, if a group of people, they are doing a sin, and somebody says, okay, I'm a silent partner with them. I don't do anything, I don't believe in that, but I'm part of them. He would be punished as bad as others. Because you are part of a group, you belong to them, and the punishment comes as a group, each one will be toughest. The only way that the person could save himself, he should tell them, I'm not part of you. I don't believe in these things, you are wrong, you are doing wrong. Therefore, the person has to use his chokhmah and wisdom, how to do it the best way for Avodat Hashem. But that's the rule. Now here, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it's an unbelievable point in Rashi. In other words, if they don't do sin, in other words, if they do sin, they should be punished. If they don't do sin, they shouldn't be punished. So what does it make difference to be counted or not? Torah is saying, no, it makes a difference. If you are counted with Rishai, with wicked people, therefore a person associated with them, therefore a person would be punished with them also. Therefore, here HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, "V'ata hafet Levim," you should appoint the Levim. Now, it's very interesting. Now, before counting, Moshe Rabbeinu, please find out and acknowledge the Levim. What's the job that they have to do? Appoint them for the job before counting them. Now, what's the job that they have to do? Hafet Levim, appoint the Levim al Mishkan HaEdut, on the Mishkan of the testimony, all of the utensils, whatever that belongs to it. In the Midbar, they have to carry the Mishkan. Who is going to carry the Mishkan? Shevet Levi. Shevet Levi is the one who carries the Mishkan. Shevet Levi is the one who carries the Mishkan. Therefore, here you tell them that's the job that they have. Therefore, you point out the job to them. Now, vehem yeshartuhu, and they gonna minister it to it. And around the Mishkan they should camp. When the Mishkan is traveling, they're gonna take it down and assemble it. And when the Mishkan is camping, they're gonna establish it, erect it. And meanwhile, when they are putting that unassembled it, or when they are putting it together, if a stranger comes, somebody who's not the Levi or Kohen, he would die. A lot of times, reverence is very important. You have to give respect and cover and honor. People would ask, why such a terrible punishment? Because we need that. Don't forget, our society is suffering because we have a lot of tolerance for that. Therefore, reverence, kavod, respect is important. That makes the embodiment of a person. Somebody who doesn't understand his limitations is the invader. He invades and invades and invades. Becomes an invader in life. Therefore, he's not going to be a good husband. He's not going to be a good father. He's not going to be a community man because always invades. It's a very interesting mentality. Because we have to tell people you have a border. You are passing your border. My dear son, it's not right. You are passing the red light. This is not right. This is not your border. Isn't it true? Look at your border. Look at things. This is not your territory. You should not. Therefore, we have to point out to them. People have to understand each one has his own border. You cannot invade. We find a lot of times in Torah that Torah punishes invaders. And I was very surprised. How come death? This, if you study the deep psychology of a person, you find out. And you see, any family that has borders, everybody knows its own limitations, then a healthy family, everything goes well. But the families without border, people could do whatever that they want, children could select whatever that they want, whatever. These children, they are not going to grow healthy. Because of life, they have to understand this is your border, this is your limitations. And that makes them happy, that builds them up and becomes healthy. And they camp in Israel, according to his camp, which are declared is banner, Now we have the Mishkan. There are four sides. There are four sides of the Mishkan. Levim are going to camp, right, in 2000. And then from Levim to Machane Israel is also 2000. And the Kahal Israel, they will camp for 3 Shavuot that we're going to talk about here. Now, it says Levi Yachanu Israel Mishkan do 2 times. They said in the pasuk of Nun, V'Sav Mishkan Yachanu, and here also it says Levi Yachanu Israel Mishkan Haidut. Well, Yetzirah shouldn't be angry at that Ben Israel. Shouldn't be angry. Why should be angry? V'Sham Levim Nishmeret Mishkan, because they have to keep the watch of the Mishkan Haidut. Why? Because the strangers should not come. We said that if they come, they're going to die. Who is going to watch that Levim? Also they did. They didn't protest that, why Levim should have such a chashivut and such important. They understood HaKadosh Baruch Hu is doing that. Why? Because Levim, they didn't do the sin of Egel. Now, why did he say 2 times? Rambam says Levim have 2 jobs. One job of Levim is to watch the Mishkan. At that time, and Betamir Dosh now. Levim are those who keep the gates open and close and let people enter it. And the other thing is the Mishorim, they say Shira. That's one job. There's another job. We had 3 machanot by Kahal Israel. Machane Israel, Machane Leviyah, and Machane Shekhinah. Now in Yerushalayim, we have 3 machanot also. Now, from Yerushalayim, the wall of Yerushalayim till Harabayit is Israel. From Harabayit to Hel is Machane Levia. From the Hel inside is Machane, I'm not sure. From some place inside is Machane Shechina. There were 3 Machanot, and there's Halacha. Because some types of Tameh, sometimes it gets contaminated. It could go out of 1 Machane, some 2 Machanot, some 3 Machanot. You just like you had Machanot by Mishkan, you had Machanot there also, and that's 2 jobs of the Levim, one to watch, one Vayachanu camp, to give the halacha of camp of Levia that has its own hilchot. Right, but now once we finished with the numbers, now a person psychologically needs 2 things. Needs to have a number, chashivut, and that's not enough. You can't just leave him there. You have to get a position for him. That's your position, that's your job. Now we're going to work on the positions. Listen to what Torah is saying, and the greatest psychologist in life is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Hashem says the way that Hashem deals with Gehal Israel, every leader of a family, every leader of a community has to deal with the community or family. Each person on his banner with the signs of Levet Avotam, the household of the fathers, Yachanu ben Israel, they should come mineged from a distance 2,000 Saviv leOhel Moed, surrounding Ohel Moed Yachanu. Now Rashi says, what's Beotot? Rashi, Bet Beotot, Kolde Yayoluot. Every flag had its own sign. Mapat Sivua Telu Yabu. There was a cloth color. The difference were different. And the seva of the Choshen had 12 stones, and each stone has a different color. And every stone belonged to one shevet. Every shevet has its own color. Rabbi Bachya explains that why color of every shevet has to do with the tichuna of each shevet, and the flag also. And everybody knew what is degel. Rashi says second Parshat, sign of their fathers, the sign of Yaakov. When Yaakov died, he told them, carry me. And he says, Banav, lo ken ke asher tibam. Yehuda, in other words, he told them, just like they carried the Aaron, here also, they should carry his Aaron, also they carried the same way. 3 Shevatim. There were 4 sides, each side 3 Shevatim, they carried Aaron. In other words, whatever that they did it by Yaakov Avinu, they did here by Mishkan, by Achonim. No. The point is like this. Now we have to be talking about camping. What's the shot of this camping and what's going on? See, the Midrash says like this. It's very interesting Midrash. The Midrash says that unbelievable in a very deep point, that's unbelievable. See, HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world with 4 sides. 4 sides? Who created 4 sides? Hashem. Doesn't run them. There was a reason for it. Each side represents something. And the Kisei Kavod of HaKadosh Baruch Hu has 4 sides into it, and each side represents something. One is Adam, that is the greatest of creatures, Adam. The other one is the lion, is the greatest in the wild animal. The other one is Shor, cow, is the greatest power in domestic animal. And the other one is Nesher, eagle, is the greatest bird. There were HaKadosh Baruch Hu created 4 types of beings, Adam and animals. Adam, wild animals, beast, and domestic animal, and bird. And 4 sides of Kisei HaKavod. The Kisei HaKavod is in the middle, the Kisei, the throne of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the majesty of the kingdom. Kingdom represents itself. Now there are 4 characteristics that surrounding the Kisei HaKavod. One is Adam, being the greatest of creature. Then we have Shor, cow. Then we have lion. Now the cow is the power. Cow plows and prepares the land. Lion has the strength and the majesty and power. And the Nesher goes highest. In other words, the highest bird that flies is Nesher. These 4 are Kisei HaKavod. Now we are trying to demonstrate whatever that happens to Kisei HaKavod down here. And that's the camping of Gehal Israel. Those who camp Dedma Mizracha, Dedma means front. Now, where is the front of creation? Where is the front of the creation? The front of creation is relative. Where is the front of the creation? It's relative. Now, the Midrash says, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu created Adam Arishon, he put the Gan Eden, Gedema Mizracha. Gan Eden was in east. Therefore, east becomes the front of the world. Therefore, V'hachonim Gedmat, the front, Mizracha, the east. Therefore, the east is the front, and the face of the world is east. Now, it's very interesting that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, in Elyon, in the Olam of Elyon, in the heavens, the east is the face of the world, whatever that the spirituality means. Now, in the physical sense also, east is the place that the sun comes. All of our light comes from east. Therefore, that is parallel to the east up there, Shamayim. Now, Gedma Mizracha. Therefore, that's the source of Or. Now, who are the Shevatim who represents the Or of the Olam? Degel Machane Yehuda. Now, the banner of camp of Yehuda, Yehuda is Or Olam, is Baal Melucha, and the Melech, in other words, in Goyish world, the Melech absorbs and gets from everybody. In Jewish world, the Melech becomes light of everybody. He gives service to everybody. He brings out the potential. That was the point of Yehuda. Yehuda was the one to bring out the light and to bring out the potential of everybody. That's the part of the job of leader. A leader is a collective. He has to gather all of the members to show them their importance and to take out their potential. That's the Orosh Olam. Therefore, Ketema Mizracha is Yehuda Lesivotam, V'nasivne Yehuda Nachshum Naminadav, and the leader is Nachshum Nadav, Utzva V'gatim, and the our legends are V'gatim, Arba V'shim Ele V'shishmeo. 74,600. Now, I was talking to a man, and he was crying. Unbelievable. The Parshat. He was saying that I don't have a place at home, I don't have a place in community. Now, we knew how many people are Yehuda. We just finished talking about it. Why should he tell us the number of Yehuda again here? Arba V'shim Elef, Sheshmeo, right? Therefore, we had 74,600. We just count the number. Now, in camping, also, again, Torah tells us the number. Why do we need it? Torah is not repetition. Torah is telling us, for a man, it's very important to have the chashivut. As the individual, that was the chashivut of every individual. Then, in the position that you have. Somebody goes to work, and the worker, the co-workers, or the leader, gives him a taste that you are not doing anything here. They're just hiring you. It's a tzedakah. He feels useless. He feels crushed. He feels nobody and nothing. Like this man was telling me. Therefore, Torah is telling us, Yehuda, all of your numbers we need in this position that we're going to give to you. Each one has its own chashivut, has its own importance, and they are doing the job that they have to do. Those they come within, therefore each side we need 3 Shevatim. Now Yehuda, Mate Issachar. Now why do we put Issachar next to Yehuda? Why do we put Issachar next to Yehuda? Because the Levychaim says, Issachar Yod Ebina, they learn Torah. The light of Olam comes from the Yehuda Melech and Torah. And the Nasi of Issachar Ben Suar, Suar comes from Tza'ar. Talmidei Chacham, they should have Tza'ar of understanding Torah and learning Torah. That makes the person to become a Torah. Again, the numbers, again, that was the number of individual, you're important. But in this position also we count you. Each one has his own role. How many? 54,400. Now, Mate Zevulun, Issachar Zevulun. Now, by all of the Shevatim it says Umate. Umate, when it's adding. By Zevulun says Umate, it says Mate Zevulun. The Midrash asks, why did it say Mate Zevulun? Should say Umate? Midrash said, if you say Wav, what does Wav do? Wav is nullifying it. Mechabed, but nullifies it to Zevulun. In other words, we know that the Issachar learned Torah, and Zevulun made a contract. Zevulun said, I do business. Zevulun was Ashir. In other words, the Parshat say that the characteristic of Zevulun is Ashir, the merchant. And they do business, and the Ashir, the wealth. Now, if we would have said Umate, then becomes nullifies to Issachar. And people would look down at Zevulun. What? He's learning Torah, but what are you doing? Nothing. But Torah says Mate Zevulun. To point out they are as important as. And Mushrabenu is Beracha, he says, Ismach Zevulun Besetcha, Besachar Beohalecha. First says Zevulun, then Issachar. To say that they have the same Sechar and the same Chashivut. Matis Zevulun, Atzirun Zevulun, Liab Ben Chelon, Utar Botav, Shiva Bechamishim Elef, there were 57,400. Kol Abonim Achad Yehuda. Now the Torah goes and becomes calculated again. He adds them together for the camp of Yehuda. There were east, there are 3 Shevatim, Yehuda, Issachar, Zevulun, Me'at Elef, Ushmanim said 186,400. Rishonah Isau. First they're gonna move. Therefore, first movement comes from Orosh Olam, which is Yehuda, is Torah. And that is, where is it? In Mizrach. Now let me ask you. The sun comes from Mizrach. Where does it go after Mizrach? After Mizrach, where does the sun go?
From east to west.
Shlomo says in Shir Hashirim, first comes out from the east, goes to south. East, south, and after that goes to west. Now we're going to say next piece is Legin Machane Reuven Temana. Therefore from the east we go to Temana, south. Now what is south? So what is south? Now the Mekubalim say south is the Otzar of Beracha, Geshamim, Halelei Beracha, Gashmi Beracha. Tal and rain comes from south. Now that represents Reuven. What's after Torah? Reuven. What's the Reuven? What's the Reuven? Is pillar of what? Pillar of Teshuvah. Second, to Torah is what? Is Teshuvah. Therefore, sun comes from east, goes to south. The second important one is south. South representative of Reuven is Teshuvah, the pillar of Teshuvah. They were Dege Machar Reuven Teman Sultan, not even Reuven Elisu Ben Shedur that we talked about. My God is my rock. Could sovel me. For the 6,500 and those who camp on it, Mat Shimon, Nasir Ben Shimon, Shimon Ben Seadah, now we're going to see why Shimon is here. So I've got them to Yeshua Bechamishim Elef, now 59,600. Mat God. Now, God is Gevurah. For Teshuvah, we need Gevurah. God was the one who fought and he showed to Gevurah. Rashi Ben God, Rashi Ben Ruel, Uto Avotem Rashi Ben Ruel, Shvan Bodam Shim, Urkodem Le Machane Reuven, the second Machane, 151,450. Ushniim Isau. There was Sheniim. Second, what's the second? Teshuvah. First is Torah. Now, we understood why Reuven is here. And why God is here, why Shimon is in the middle. Unbelievable Chazal. Chazal said, Shimon did the sin of Zimri ben Saru, did the sin of Shechem. Therefore, Shimon needs to be promoted in Teshuvah. Therefore, he has to be in Degel Machane Reuven. Now, where should it be? He should be between Reuven and God. Reuven, pillar of Teshuvah, God, Gevurah. Both together, they help out Shimon. And by the way, Torah is teaching us, what's the role of brotherhood? The role of brotherhood is not to think, what's my game? What's the best thing for me? The person has to think collectively. We have to lift up Shimon. We can't forget him. We have to help him out. Therefore, what are we going to do? Reuven and God, they put Shimon in the middle to lift him up, to be mechazechim, to give him strength. This brings Shekhinah. This brings Shekhinah. If it's a camping that brings the Shekhinah, what's the camping that brings the Shekhinah? When they care for each other. When they are there for each other. They help out each other. They hold hands of each other. And they do whatever that they could do for each other. They see the weakest, there is a weak point by Shimon. We have to help him out. Reuven and God, and Shimon is in the middle, and they help him out. No. After that, what happens? Machane Levyim moves. Just like however that they camp, they move. Now the moving has a process and order. Each person in his place, to their flags. Then we're going to go to Gil Machane Ephraim. Therefore we just finished from sun in the east. After east goes to south. After south it goes to where? West. And what happens to north? Skips the north. Unbelievable, yes. Therefore, now we're going to go to where? To west. There you Machane Ephraim, the pelag of the camp of Ephraim. No, Ephraim is the shore. That's why we have 4 images in Markava Elyona to the heights heavens of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, around the Kisah Kabod. One of them is Shor. Shor is the power. Power of domestic animal Shor plows the land and prepares the land. There again, Machane Ephraim Nesivotam, Yama, to this reason Yama, west, Nasiv Ephraim, Elishama ben Amihu. Elishama ben Amihu. Therefore, now the Zohar HaKadosh says, west is the place of Barad, Kol, Vahum. Sheleg, snow, Barad, Barad, hail, Kol, Vahum, cold and heat, and Shekhinah is in Mara. Unbelievable. Therefore, Yaakov Avinu said that Bet Hamikdash should be built in the Chelek of Binyamin. Yedid Hashem, Yedid Hashem Binyamin, Ben Shechanav, Ben Shechanav, HaKadosh Baruch Hu comes and dwells in between his shoulders. And that's the Binyamin, because the Binyamin didn't bow down to Esav. That was the Shevet, and Shekhinah is in Marav. Therefore, the Marav designated for this. Now, it's very interesting. We would have thought Shekhinah should be in Mizrach. Why Shekhinah is in Marav? Marav. There are a lot of Pshatim. That one thing that I like is like this. You know, the Mariv, when the sun goes down, represents the field of Arvit. Now, the Midrash says, the Yaakov Avinu, the Bechir Shel Avot, the chosen father, is the one who established the field of Arvit. Now, why we need such a strong father? In other words, the Midrash says, Avraham Avinu was saved from Kivshan Hayesh b'tzchut Yaakov. It's a very interesting Midrash. It says, Avraham was saved because Yaakov. Therefore, Yaakov is Bechir Shel Avot, chosen out. Now, chosen out is established the field of Arvit. The field of Arvit, most of us are very tired, this and that. The Midrash says, what's the field of Arvit? The Midrash says, Mashal Mahadordome, a king that had a Seudah, and they ate the Seudah, and everybody left from the afternoon, from the morning. King started the Seudah, and everybody was there till night. Everybody goes back home, and one of old friend, King tells him, "Stay here, don't leave. Our just friendly from childhood." So okay, stays. And the king says that make a table for us, and they make us. Then he says that turn off all of the lights. I don't want lights. I want to be with my beloved just by ourselves. Just by ourselves. Pitu, kibu panasim. The Midrash says, turn off the lights. Now Mefarshim say, what's Pshat? A lot of times the light distracts a person. You see a lot of things. You don't see anybody. You don't see HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You see wild world, you see things that distract you. Now, what's the point of putting up the light? You can't see anything. You could focus. And that's the flat Arvit. Arvit is Yechidut of a person with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. There is nothing there, only Hashem and the person. That's one of the greatest tefillot. Now, Ma'ariv represents that idea of Yechidut. And we have Yechidut with Shekhinah, the Ma'arav. In other words, that Ma'arav, when sun sets, the distractions goes away. Now it's a time of Chibur, time of being private together. That's Ma'arav. And it's all before them, 40,500, and next to it, Matem Nashi, Nasir Nashi Gamle Pekasul, Utotam Shnaim, 32,200, Matem Binyamin, Nasir Binyamin, Avidon Ben Gidoni, Utotam Hamisha, Shusha Mele, 35,400, and all of the numbers for this group is 100 AD, 100, Mat Elef, no.
108,000.
108,000 and 100. Let's see what's
Sorry,
up.
how does that
Third is so.
When you said destruction goes away, what destruction are you referring to?
What?
Distraction.
Distract. Light distracts, because when you see things.
Disrupts or distract?
Distract. Distracts your mind, because when you see it, you think about it, you do it. At night, you don't see anything. There's nothing to see. You focus on your beloved. It says that kipu panasim, because I want to focus on my beloved. I don't want to see anything else. So that is the feel of Arvit. Arvit is a time that there is nothing to distract.
Close your eyes, Shema.
And say Shema. Okay, therefore, so far we had Torah, Then we had Teshuvah. Then we have Bnei Rachel, which is Yosef and Binyamin. It's Gevurah. Then we have Torah, Teshuvah. We're going to reach to Gevurah. Now we're going to go to the fourth one. They get Machane Dan. Dan is one, is Nesher. Now, Safon. Now, the Midrash says, why Safon is called north? Safona. Why Safona is called north is called Safon? Because we have in Kadesh Urcha Safon. What is Safon? Barak. What's Safon? Afikoma. Why Afikoma is called Safon? Because it was hidden. Something that hidden is called Safon. Now, north, the sun doesn't get to north. Sun skips the north. Sun comes from the east, goes to south, from south goes all of a sudden to west. Therefore, north is the forgotten location on earth. That's called Safon. It was hidden. There's no light. There's Choshech. Now, who should live in that Choshech? Not to live in Dan. Yerovam ben Nebat, that he made the Egel, if there is in the history of Kahal Israel. A sin should not be repeated, it's Egel. But Yerovam repeated that. Where did he put the Egel? Shevet Dan. Shevet Dan, that's a Choshech. Shevet of the Choshech. They are living in darkness. And Safon is done. Now, he is like a Nesher. Now, the point is like this. Dan, in other words, this Shevet is Shevet of the Shefachot. Utsav Gotem, Shnayim Veshushem Elef, 62,700. Ba'achon Malav Mate Asher. Now, what should be done to Dan? Asher. What's in Asher? Shemen, oil. What will be oil? Illumination, light. Therefore, we put the next to Dan, Asher, Forgivan Parbanet, Umate Naftali, Nasim Naftali, Akrab Benenan, Naftali is Ayala Shilucha, he would go send Yure Shafer, Usav Gotem Shoshan Ramshe, 53,400, Kurabodim Akadon, Mat Ele Shuaim Shemelef. All of the Macedon is 157,600. Le'achrona is'ule diglehem. They are the last one to go. Now, the last one to go now, Dan, is like a nesher. Now, for the Merkaba is nesher. Now, eagle. What does eagle do? Hashim said, eagle, when he goes to his nest, he's very careful with them. He is mitorah the nest. He cares for the children very much, because if he comes all of a sudden, he smashes the small children. But he goes very, very gently, and he deals with them gently. Now, Dan, the Choshech Shevet, HaKadosh Baruch Hu made him responsible to collect whatever that falls from the other Shevatim, to give him responsibility, to give him the Chashivot, to give him Lachrona Isahu, and they're going to be the ones that if somebody lost something, they're going to gather it and they're going to return back to him. That gives them light. That gives them destiny in their life. Yes?
Is that why most of the enemies come from north?
Yes.
Because of the
Exactly. Safona, right? Safona, Yabora.
North Korea.
Usually from north comes all of the enemies, and Ra comes from the north, because north is a Choshech. Very interesting idea in Kabbalah, and that's the north. These are the countries called all of them are 603,550. Halevi wrote about the Levi were not counted between Ben Israel, Gashti Hashem Moshe, and Vayasu Ben Israel. He did to Hashem Moshe, Ken Chanu Diklehem. They didn't make a sorrow. In other words, somebody would say that you make a party, they didn't give me right place. I should have sitting in a chair. Here Torah is made. Testifies on Kahal Israel. That Kahal Israel, Hashem Moshe, Ken Chanu Diklehem, Vechem Nasau. That's the greatest present. That people should understand their own position. It doesn't matter. As long as we do our best, as long as we, all of these things are Yetzer Hara. He is here, he is there. Now they gave me this, they gave me that. Most of the time and energy and the kovach of a person is wasted through these things. Come on. Speedy, chaval. Do mitzvot, do something that you could do. Why are you thinking all the time about this honor, that honor? See, Kahal Israel. They didn't say, why are we not burning Misrach? Why are we Misrach? Why don't? It's there. It says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that's a chelet that you want to give it to me. I'm happy with it. And I bring out your malchut. I'm privileged to have that. Ish le mishbechotav, v'dav al bet avotav. Ve'retod Aharon, These are the offspring of Aharon and Moshe. We talk about Aharon and Moshe. B'yom divrei Hashem and Moshe. When Hashem spoke to Moshe b'Har Sinai in Har Sinai, ve'ele shemot ben Aharon. Talks about offspring of Aharon and Moshe. It doesn't talk about the offspring of Moshe. Just talks offspring of Aharon. From here, Chazal learn out that somebody who teaches Ben Chabir Rashi says, "Ve'enu maskir ben Aharon." Moshe lefi shlam dan Torah. Melamed shechur hamelamed ben Chabir Torah ma'ale Allah b'katuv keilu yaldu. If somebody teaches the son of his friend Torah, it's as if he gave birth to him. Ve'ele shemot ben Aharon. Bechor Nadav v'Avihu Elisabet Tamar. These are the names of Aaron, HaKohanim, Meshachim. They were anointed. Hashem mile yadam lechayin. They got authority to do minister of the Kohanim. Vayomod Nadav, they died. V'Agribam Shtarah, when they brought fire Lifnei Hashem, in front of Hashem, because of the Kurbat HaGoshvar from Mitzrayim. Right? They didn't have children. They didn't were married. Vaychayin Elisabet Tamar ben Aaron Avihem. They Vaydaber Hashem Moshe. Achlev Matelevi. Bring Matelevi, and make them stand. Lifnei Aharon HaKohen v'shir to the serving. The HaKadosh Baruch Hu now is giving Shevet Levi to Aharon to do the Avodah. Why? Because the Avodah belonged to Bechorot. Bechorot, they sinned by Chet of Egel, and the HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to exchange them with Levi. The Shomrit Mishparot, they're going to keep the charge, his charge, and the charge of the assembly. Lifnei Hashem Oel the Avodah Mishkan, they're going to do the service of the Mishkan. And they should keep all of the utensils of the Ohel Moed with all of the charge of Israel to do the Avodah service of Mishkan. V'notat Torah Alvim, give Alvim leAharon Vanav, Netunim, presented. No, that he give him alone made Israel from Israel. When Israel they are giving gift to Aharon, Levim with Aharon, with Banav Tifchot, they appoint them with Shamru et Yonatam, and the foreigner that comes, he would put to death. Now, I took the Levim among Bnei Israel. You have to tell your father-in-law this parasha is used parasha. This parasha says, instead of in the place of all of the firstborn of Peter Rechem, the first issue of the womb, Bnei Israel, and should be for me. All of the Bechor belong to me. Why? Because I struck all of the firstborns in Israel. I made them Kodesh for myself. All of the firstborn, Adam from human beings and the animals. No, what do I want to do? I want to exchange the Levim with the firstborns. Because firstborn, they did the Chet of Egel, they can't do the Avodah. Chafetz Chaim says, at the time of the Hamikdash, unfortunately, all of the Bechorim, they're going to come and they see what they lost. Such a great loss. And Chafetz Chaim says, that's life. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us privileges. If you use it, we grow out of it. If you don't use it, we go wrong, we're going to lose. And that's life. The person has to learn that after Mo'avitim Shana, the person should not regret. No. Yeah, wow. Okay, Shema Adagal, your father-in-law Levi raised up such a beautiful girl and gave it to you. You got your chela, you got your portion, don't worry. Pekodet Bnei Levi, count the Bnei Levi, Levet Avotam, to the count of the fathers, the Mishpotam. Kos Achar, you're going to count for Levi from which age? From 1 month and older. Why 1 month? Because below 1 month is not stable. Once they become stable, you can count them. Moshe al pi Hashem, and Moshe count them. Because Moshe Rabbeinu said, listen to Moshe. Moshe said, how do I count 1 month? I have to go to the houses, the ladies. It's not Seniut. It's not Seniut. Moshe Rabbeinu says, don't worry. You go by the house, the Shekhinah would come and say, here there are 10 children. There are 7 children. You don't have to go to house and deal with the ladies. In other words, once you have to count a month older, unbelievable Yesod in Torah. There is a concept of Seniut. Moshe Rabbeinu said, it's not Seniut that I should go to a house with the lady, with the children. Hashem says, Al-Pi Hashem, with the command of HaKadosh Baruch Hashem made the nest. The Shekhinah came. What does that mean? That means to say, you want to keep your Kedusha, you want to keep your Tahara. If the person demands from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem makes even a nest. That you should keep yourself kadosh, you should keep yourself holy. You don't have to lose the kedusha. Bnei Levi, these are the children of Levi Shpotam. Now Levi didn't have slavery. The brothers were working so hard, and he had a good time almost. He named the name of the children to remind himself of the slavery. Gershon, you are Gershon. Qehad, they are qehad means they are smacking their head. Umrari mirut, veleshon denishon. These are the children of Neshon Mishpotam, Lev Neshi, Ben Qehad Mishpotam, Ben Qehad. Therefore, Levi had 3 children, Gershon, Qehad, Merari. Gershon had 2, Lev Neshimi, Ben Qehad are 4, Amram, Isaac, Avraham, Beziel, Ben Merari 2, Mahli, Mushi. Elehem Mishpotam, Levi, Betabotam, Le Gershon. From Mishpachat Levni, Mishpachat Hashimi, Elehem Mishpachat Gershoni, Pekudem, their numbers, it's like Kozachar, from 1 month up, Pekudem Shivat Alafim, Chameshmot, 7,500, Mishpachat Gershoni, Achar Mishkan Yachanu, they're going to come, Achar Mishkan Yachanu, Yama, west. Here we start from the west, because east is Moshe Ve'ahon, they don't do the Avodah. Unsibet Av Gershoni, and Nesibet Av Gershoni, Eliasab ben Ra'el, Mishperet ben Gershon, and the charge of ben Gershon, Asam Gershon, oh no, they carry, what they carry, Be Ohel Moed in the Ohel Moed, Hamishkan. The first layer of the Mishkan, the first curtain on the Mishkan, Ohel, the second one, Mixu and the cover. There are 3 layers. Umasach Petach Ohel, and the curtain of Petach Ohel Moed, the entrance of the Ohel Moed, and the curtains of the Chater yard, and the curtain of the entrance of the yard, and Mishkan, Alam Esbeyach, Saviv, and the robes, and Kul Avodato. Now, Lichad, Mishpachat Amram, Mishpachat Yisrael, Mishpachat Hebroni, Mishpachat Yisrael, Elehem, Mishpachat Qati. Qati is the most chashuv family. Kol Zachar, from 1 month and up, 8,600. Shoy Mishpachat Kodesh, Mishpachat Ben Qad, Yachan Al Yerech HaMishkan Temana. They're going to south, Unsi Bet Av Mishpachat Qati, Elisafan Ben Uziel, and Elisafan that's Korach. Korach got jealous because Elisafan Ben Uziel is the 4th one. Mishpachat Aharon, now Mishpachat Mishpat, the most chashuv one. Aaron, Shulchan table, menorah, misbechot, altars, and the vessels of the Kodesh Asher Shortu Baim, Bahamas of Rabbato, Nan Nesi of Levi, Elasov ben Havra Kohen, Pekudash ben Mishpeh Kodesh, Lemrari, Mishpachat Amachli, Mishpachat Amushi, Elehem Mishpachat Merari, and the numbers goes Zachan Kodesh Mala, Sheshed Alafim Matayim, 6,200, Nesi Betal Shulchan Merari, Suriel ben Avichai, Ali Chamishkan Yachona, Safona, they're gonna come north. The lowest goes to north, Ubqad Mishpeh ben Merari. Now what do they carry? The boards, less chashuv, the boards of the Mishkan, and the bars, and the pillars, and the sockets, they would have been called of the Milchama and fight. Why should they do this? They accepted. This is the Ratzon of Hashem. Hashem wants it like that. They say, oh, he carries Aaron, I should carry the boards. He carries this, I should carry that. If a person wants to think like that, he destroys the world. That's the word of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. B'chol kela, b'chol avodato, kol avditin sardato. V'amudei echatzer, the pillars of the yard, saviv adnehem, sockets v'zitot uvetem, the pegs and the ropes, the lowest one. V'achol lifnei Mishkan. Now, who comes in front of the Mishkan? Gedma, in front, east. The front, lifnei Ohel Moed, Mizracha, Moshe v'Aharon ubana. Moshe v'Aharon children, Shomri Mishpeh HaKodesh, the Mishpeh ben Israel, v'hasu ha'avalem, but somebody foreign comes, put to death. Kol b'chadar Moshe v'Aharon. Aharon, there are dots on the Aharon. Why? Rashi says, because Aharon was not on a number. What's Aharon? Aharon is part of this or not? Aharon is not part of this number. Al pi Hashem shbechotam, kol zachar mechodesh mala, shnai vasim ele 22,000. They were all of the Levim from 1 month up, there are 22,000. Unbelievable. Much less than all of the Shabbatim. All of the Shabbatim are 20 up. Here is from 1 month and up. Only 22,000 doesn't get to the lowest of Shabbatim. Ramban, all of the Mefarshim are wondered here. What happened to Sheva Levi? Ramban says, unbelievable point. Ramban says, when Paro put them in slavery and gave them hard avodat parech, says, pen yirbu, less they're going to increase. Hashem says, you say pen yirbu, say ken yirbu. Therefore, really Sheva Levi grew, very normal. But the other Shabbatim, because they were in slavery, they grew abundant. Because he said, Ken yirbu, Ken yirbu. They would have the bracha of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, blessings of Hashem. Ramban says, nobody gets a free ride in this world. Any trouble, anything that the person goes through, it would be rewarded. And Kahal Israel, that they had so many sorrows, so many things, they were rewarded with the bracha, blessing of the children. And Ramban says another point. Maybe it's because of the father got angry at Shimon and Levi. He told Levi, he cursed the anger. Maybe the anger of the father caused them. Every person has to be very careful not to curse, to say anything against. But anyway, that's the point. Now that's why HaKadosh Baruch Hu appointed them to the jobs, didn't get numbers. Why? They should get a little bit nechama, that even though that the numbers are short, but they are very chashuv. That is, they have chashuv in the quality. Now we want to exchange. Now we have 22,000 of Levim. Now Rashi says, if you count all of the Levim, there are more than 22,000, 300 more. Rashi says these 300, they were bechor themselves. They couldn't be exchanged. Now we're going to exchange these 22,000 of Levim with bechor. Now we're going to count how many bechor are there and exchange them. Go and count all of the firstborn of Zachar of Israel from 1 month up. We start splashing with them and count their names, and you get Levim, and I want to take Levim, leave for me, and Yashtem, Tachat Kol Bechor, in the place of Kol firstborn of Israel, Vet Behemad Alim, and the Behem of Levim, Tachat Kol Bechor Behem Israel, Vayif Kod Moshe, Moshe Gan, Sevazoto, Et Kol Bechor Israel, all of the firstborn, Vayif Kol Bechor Bezahar, Besishim Israel, Mala, to them, 273. There were 273 is more. It's a Jewish problem. Now what should we do? Now there were 22,000 could be redeemed with 22,000 of Levim. But 273, what should we do? It's a Jewish problem. Now Torah tells us leadership. What should we do? You cannot tell this person is the Bechor of Levi, this person you have to pay. You can't do that because people would scream. You can make discriminations between them. What you do? You make a Gorah. Therefore he made 22,000 petakim paper and he wrote Ben Levi, and 273 petakim paper and he wrote Pidyon of Chamisha Shekalim, and they took it out. Each one took it out. If it was the Ben Levi, he didn't have to pay anything. He became the Kilaf of the Chamisha Shekalim, he has to give it. Take the Levim, Tachat Kol Bechor, instead of all of the Bechor Ben Israel, with Behemad Alavim, and the animals of the Tachat Ben Tam, and you should be Alavim for me, with Peduya Hashirusha, and the redemption of the 273, the extra on Levim, we bechor b'Israel, lokachto chamesh shekalim legol kodem, chamesh shekalim. Where does chamesh shekalim come from? Because when they sold Yosef to chamesh shekalim, and Yosef was the best bechor of Rachel. Therefore, the first bechor is chamesh shekalim, which is a godesh tikach estim gera shekel, and you should give that kesef to Aharon banav, pedu ayotfim, eredim shavdim, ve'achach Moshe Yisrael pedu, med ayotfim ahronim, med ben Israel bechor Israel, lokach kesef chamesh v'shishim elef, and the kesef was 365,000 שקל החודש. ויתן משה את כסף הבדים לאהרון בנו דיון פעם השם כי עשו השם משה. ויתן בשם משה ואהרון אמור. Now we finished with that. Now we're going to come to designate the Peshbach of Levi. Levi had 3 children. Gershon, Gehad, Merari. Gershon was the Bechor, but the Peshbach starts from Gehad. Why did he start designation from Gehad? Because it was most chashuv. From 30 years and apart from 30 years, there are other places 25. From 25 they come to be trained. 30 they do the avodah. At ben 50 shana, kol abal sabar asok Avraham ben Moed. Zot avodat ben Gad. This is the avodah ben Gad ben Moed. Kodesh Kodeshim. Uba Aharon, Ubanav. Now what they do? Aharon and the children come bin so machane. When the machane is kuching, is moving. They put down the parochet amasach, the curtain partitions, and they kind of cover it. It's Aaron Haidut. They're going to cover the Aaron Haidut, the ark of the testimony, and they're going to put on it the covering of the skin of Tachash. Tachash was that animal. And they're going to spread out the cloth of Kelet, that's all wool, purple wool, milimal from top, and they're going to put the poles and shulchan upon him, on the table of the short bread. If it's to bake it, they're going to spread the cloth, wool. We're not to allow the dishes, spoons, the pillars, and the tubes, and the shelvings, and lechem atamid, and the bread of the tamid constant would be on it. They would put on bege tola atashani, the wool, bechis or tachash with the skin, and they're going to get bege techelet bechis the menorah damar, the menorah betroteha, and the tongs and the machtuta spoons and all of the klei shamnar oil, as you should that they minister with them, and they're going to put et kol keleh el michse or in the covering of the or tachash and they put it on the pole, and the golden altar they spread out techelet cloth, wool cloth, and they cover it with the skin, and they put the poles, and they put the kili shard, all of the kili students of the service از شرارت باید بقیه شما تو از بقیه تخیلت است اوتا مسئول در هر now the Bnei children of Aaron come they cover everything once everything was covered then the Bnei Levi they come and they carry it but it's also for Bnei Levi to come and see them first Aaron and Banav they should come to cover everything with the cloth that they had the curtain and they had special cloth for covering and special skin for covering they should clear the ashes the ash from the altar ufarsu Allah begi dar gaman and the spirit of Allah cloth of the wool brought to Allah bet kul kilam Allah short Allah bahim imta machtut the pans and the misragot the forks and the shovels and the basins kol kilam misbeach brought to Allah they put orta khasham vadab bechil Aaron when they Aaron and Bana finished covering kodesh with kul qadesh when the machane when the camp is moving journey Acharaken yavo Bnei Gehad, then Bnei Gehad they come to carry, when they go to Kodesh, and they would not touch the Kodesh because if they touch, they're going to die. Therefore, first Aaron children they come and they cover them and they put them in the things that they were made for, the skin and the cloth. These are what's carried Bnei Gehad be'ohel moed. Uqad Elazar. And the charge of Elazar ben Aaron Kohen, Shemen HaMa'or, the oil of the illuminations, Getoret HaSamim, the sense of spice, Umincha HaTamid, the mincha, the meal offering of the Tamid, continual offerings, Shemen HaMishkan, the oil of atonement, Pechudat Kol Mishkan V'Gash Shebo, Bechodesh B'Chla. V'ayta B'Hashem Moshe V'Aharon Emor. Shebdo at Tachlut Shevet HaBishbech HaDagatim, you should not cut off the Shevet Bishbech HaDagatim into Chalevim. Why? Because Shevet Gehati, they are very important job to carry Aaron. If they are not careful, they're going to die. Hashem told Moshe and Aaron, you should be very careful with this Shevet, Gehati, the tribes of Gehati, the family of Gehati. They are doing very crucial job in Mishkan. They should not be cut off. They should do, they shouldn't die. First, Aaron and the children should come. And they should put them, appoint them, they assign them, each person of them so that they should know. They should not come to look when they are covered the utensils and they're going to die. Now, we said that we're going to talk about why Bamidvar is before Matan Torah. It's very interesting that why Bamidvar is before Matan Torah. There is a very interesting passage in Shirashirim. In other words, Shirashirim, Shlomo HaMelech says that the Goyim come and tell Kahal Israel, Shuvi, Shuvi. They turn away. Shulamit. Kahal Israel. Why? Because we see into it, we're going to give you all of the jobs. We make you officers, we make you professionals. Times Magazine says that Kahal Israel, the college students in the college, the greatest professionals are from Jews. Jews are the highest. Now he says that come, we see into it that you're gonna have the greatest positions, and we're gonna see into it. Now, what's the answer of Kahal Israel? You know that the world outside has a lot of attraction, so appealing. What's the answer? The Kahal Israel tell Goyim, what are you gonna offer us that would worthwhile like the camping in the Midbar? Now Mefarshim say, what? This camping that we learn in the Parshat is going to take away all of the attraction. But Shlomo is the wisest person in the world. What do you think? You think that this camping in the Midbar would teach our children, would teach our youth, don't go after all of these attractions, all of this appealing that they have? What? Hollywood, everything. Shlomo says, you know what's the answer to that? Like we learn in the parasha that there are numbers and the camping. Now Shlomo is the wisest person. What does he say? He like this. What was the purpose of camping? The purpose of camping was, we tell Kahal Israel, every member of Kahal Israel, you are important. You have such a great role in Kahal Israel to express the kingdom of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And if you are not there, your chair stays empty. That job will not be done. That chilek, that portion of the kingdom of HaKadosh Baruch Hu will not be expressed. You are such an important job. Your job is very crucial. And if the members of Kahal Israel, they realize that, they understand that, they will not give it that easily. Do you know why did you give it up? Because they feel they have nothing. It's emptiness. Therefore they go after Hollywood, after this and that. But once we prove to them how important job you have, that's why the master of this month is twins. Because the first twin in the history of mankind is HaKadosh Baruch Hu and Israel. They become twins together. Hashem tells them, of course we can't talk about HaKadosh Baruch Hu like that, but Hashem says we are twins, like a job together. We bring out the presence of Hashem, the kingdom of Hashem, we are like twins. You bring out my presence and I help you out, we both together. Therefore from here we learn out, very important yesod in the family. Each child has to have his own chair. The job of the parents is to prove and to acknowledge to children, when you are not there, your chair is empty. You are chashuv, you are important. You are a member. Our family is not complete without you. You are such an important member. We love you, we like you. Not that the person feels indifferent. That's the Gehinna. That's the way that makes them to go away. Therefore, the point is, Torah is teaching us, the most important thing is that in a family, in a member of the community, you have to give everybody his own chashivut. Every child has his own chair. Without you, this chair is empty, and the family is not complete.